Hi, welcome to SAC TV's Riverside Chat with Alex Cosper here at the American River, home of the California Gold Rush. Last time I talked about how gold was something that doesn't always go higher, the value of gold, because it's a perception, and it's always been a perception. However, this time I want to talk about how gold can go higher and keep on going higher for a while until it kind of hits a ceiling and then stabilizes or pulls back. Right now in April 2024, we're seeing a gold rush. A lot of people are throwing their money into gold, and recently a story that Wells Fargo did a report that a lot of people are buying lots of gold at Costco, gold bars. And as we speak, the price of gold has been around $23.50. That means $2,350 an ounce in April 2024. And it's gone up considerably, like from the low 2000s when this year opened up. So I think there is a gold rush going on right now. Same thing as a gold bubble, though. It's not really that gold value is increasing, other than in the magic of the market makes it happen due to supply and demand. But a lot of the demand is fueled by media confusion. In other words, there's a lot of confusion out there of what is the actual state of the U.S. economy. I mean, it's hyperinflated for sure. I mean, prices have never been this high before on the market. Like at the supermarket, you'll notice that prices just keep going up and up and up. And part of what the Federal Reserve is trying to do to fight inflation, supposedly, is they've raised interest rates, although they kind of stopped at the end of 2023, and they kind of hinted that, well, we're done raising interest rates. That means it's going to be cheaper to borrow once they start cutting interest rates, because the way it's been in the past decade is interest rates were at zero, so a lot of big players, big elites and institutions, they were able to borrow money at 0% interest, and just that's like free money. Throw it in the stock market, watch it grow, and then just pay back the loans. That's what corporations have done too with stock buybacks, because they don't have to borrow. They don't have to spend money on borrowing when interest rates are zero. The way the markets work is it works based on perception, and a lot of those perceptions come from the media. It's just like the 1849 gold rush. That all started not from people figuring out through imagination or word of mouth that gold was on the American River, but through media. Like San Francisco publications started talking about how there was gold found on the American River, and a guy named Sam Brannan was starting to hype everybody in San Francisco that, yeah, there's gold on the American River, and in the process he was selling shovels to all these miners that were buying from him, and that's how he got rich. He became one of the richest guys in California back in the 1850s. So that's the same model today. Media hypes things and they create bubbles, and then the bubbles only go so far. Like Bitcoin, I called the top on Bitcoin in March 2024, saying it's not going to get higher than 73,000, and that is where it topped out that month. And that's all I was calling, was that month, and it's pulled back since. That could have been, I don't know if that's the peak, the all-time high, but I'm just letting you know it ran up too far. And that's what happens when things get too speculative, is prices can run up too far too fast, and then after that, guess what happens? Prices peak, they pull back, they stabilize, and sometimes they just keep sinking back to more rational levels. Anyway, gold prices are on fire right now as we speak. $2,350 an ounce is kind of where gold is right now. I would expect it to maybe get up to $2,500 on this run, like in 2024, and then either stabilize or pull back, maybe to go a little higher than that, but I don't see it like going up forever. Like, you know, it's cool to capitalize on these bumps when it jumps up. But then if you hold it for 10 years and it does nothing, then you're losing to inflation, because inflation keeps grinding away at the value of not just money, but gold. So those are my thoughts for now. And yeah, I would say in the battle of, when the question is what's the better deal, gold or Bitcoin, I would say right now gold has been the better deal. Keep in mind, I'm just some ex-radio DJ. I'm not a financial advisor. I've never worked for, actually I have worked for a financial institution. I worked for one of the first online traders back in the 90s, brokers, and I learned a bunch of stuff from that. But I would say I've also learned a bunch of stuff from media, both good and bad, on how prices are rigged and hyped, and how people are fooled by that, and how people ultimately lose a lot of money in the market. The way to win a lot of money in the market is to really have a clear mind about it, learn as much as you can, and learn about all the illusions, like in the movie Wizard of Oz, how the wizard creates all these illusions that fool society. And one more point, I've been scrubbing this mole off. You might have noticed that earlier in the year I had this big, ugly, brown mole, but I wanted to get rid of it, so I did some research. I didn't just jump at the first link I found on Google, because a lot of times that's wrong. I kept doing thorough research till I found out that hydrogen peroxide is one of several, maybe a dozen remedies to get rid of moles. Hydrogen peroxide does occur in nature. The chemical formula is H2O2. That means 2 hydrogen atoms and 2 oxygen atoms combined. And even though it occurs in nature, it's more trace amounts. And the bottles you buy at the store those are usually manufactured solutions. And so I bought $1 worth of hydrogen peroxide at Dollar Tree. That's one of the last places where you could get good deals while prices are just skyrocketing everywhere. I don't buy food at Dollar Tree, but I buy items like can openers and stuff like that, paper towels, just things I would rather not pay 3 times more for when you could get it as cheap as possible at Dollar Tree. See, that's thinking like a winning corporation like Apple, just to spend the least amount and then maximize profits by taking in the most amount. So that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to save my money, and I'm glad that Dollar Tree still exists. There's several still in Sacramento. There's one not far from the American River at Arden and Watt. Is it Arden and Watt? Yeah, near Safeway. That one's been there for a while. However, not all dollar stores are doing that well, and one of the brands called 99 Cent Only, they announced they're closing all 371 stores. But they're closing. They're like a bigger store, almost like a box store full of dollar items. But because of supply chain issues, oil keeps going up, which is messing up the whole supply chain costs. You know, it's part of why supermarket costs keep going higher, aside from corporate price gouging. When oil prices keep going up like they have been, it's going to make all prices go up. So the war biz is the biggest biz on earth. When you got two wars going on at one time, that's going to drive up oil prices, and that drives up all other prices. So that's what's happening now. But oil itself doesn't always go up. Sometimes it comes right back down. Sometimes it plunges, you know. Sometimes it's volatile, goes way up then way down. Just remember that sometimes it'll go way down, and that a lot of the supply chain vendors will continue to maintain high prices, and that's what corporate price gouging is. So just be aware of that. I like to boycott high prices. I gravitate toward lower prices. And so that's why I bought hydrogen peroxide, a dollar solution, as opposed to paying a doctor $500 to $2,000 to just say, you figure it out. I don't want to do research. I'm too dumb to do that. Media, big media, which makes people dumber, is trying to get everyone to think that way. Don't do your own research. Don't trust your own research, even though, you know, a lot of information is at your fingertips. A gold mine of information online is at your fingertips on every topic imaginable, to where you can save all kinds of money. Even though that's true, they want you to still throw lots of your money away on the medical industry and big pharma, two of the greediest industries of all time. And I will say that it is political. Both those industries, like most industries, are political. They align with political forces. They're all each industry is represented by a political body known as lobbyists, and they're under the name of an association. So like for medical, it's the American Medical Association, AMA. You know, they basically get together and tell doctors what to do. And big media, their biggest sponsors are big pharma, and their biggest funders are the FDA. So see how it's all connected? FDA gets like 75% of its funding from big pharma, which is supposed to, you know, be regulated by the FDA. So that's just funny. That's why you got to look at it as a commercial system, a see-through commercial system, and you got to watch out not to be burned by all the high prices. So that's all I have for you today for another Riverside Chat here at the American River. Let's get together again sometime for another Riverside Chat.